We are starting a new little show here with our lovely, fabulous Claire, Chief Innovation Officer, and we're doing Save Our Skin. You know, you have a question about your skin and answer questions and help you with getting into a skincare routine, getting out of bad habits. Now, you might know Claire from very good discussions about retinol and about vitamin C and about hyaluronic acid, because those are the 3 films we've done of just dissecting a category and looking at it. So we're going to start with some questions here, and we're just literally going to go through her with freckles. My skin has become very sensitive and suffering from rosacea since starting oral chemotherapy. What can you recommend? Is the new Trinny London Cleanser okay? I would say that when you're going through, and we have many women in the Trinny tribe who are going through cancer treatment or chemotherapy for another reason, because I know it treats other things as well. And I think it's that being gentle on your skin and not wanting to put anything on it that you feel is abrasive. And I think skin becomes very sensitive with different drugs.
Absolutely, it does, yeah.
We are both not doctors, we're both not dermatologists, but we have had experience in skin and ingredients. So I'd say be gentle. I think the balm is beautiful.
The balm, I think, is a safe bet for sure,
Yeah.
because it is about nurturing and it's just giving back to the skin.
Yeah.
So I think that would be great.
That's good. How about alcohol in skin products? This is such an interesting one because, you know, for years, the concept of a toner, and many of you might be of an age where a toner was literally alcohol with some rose water. Or, you know, I used to use witch hazel on my spots. That's what my grandmother told me to use. And it's a lot of alcohol in witch hazel. So, I mean, do we feel there is a place for alcohol in skincare? Because a lot of it has in the inky list, it has alcohol in it.
It has alcohol, and a lot of that is nowadays to do with the texture. So if you want to create something that's really light, so you think about lots of SPFs where they have it's quite oily, they will put alcohol in the formulation to kind of lighten up the texture.
Yeah.
However, I think things have moved on now from needing to have alcohol in a formula to like help with spots or sebum, because it dries the skin out.
It really does,
It really, really does.
Yeah.
So I think there's more sophisticated ingredients nowadays
that you can
avoid it.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Trinny, face products for pale skin girls with olive undertones, which ones please? If you're talking about skin, as in what are the good products, I think if your skin is olive and its tendency to an oiliness, then I'd say use our gel. If you're talking about face products as in makeup, then I think if you do Match to Me at Trinny London, it shows you which colours suit you for your skin, hair and eye combination, which no other brand does. Best recommendation for acne pigmentation. So that's in a way what I call dark spots.
Yes.
It's different from pigmentation, which is caused by sun damage.
Azelaic acid, I think, is good. Also, a retinol is good because they actually help with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, which is the pigmentation getting after a spot.
Yeah,
and SkinCeuticals and Medicate, I think,
are
SkinCeuticals
really
great
Medicate.
brands for
very
that.
good. My lips seem to be vanishing as I get older. I'm nearly 50 and now I can't wear lipstick. Help, please. It's a tough one because, you know, what happens as we go down that path of life is that, you know, all the support of lovely collagen and sort of ceramides, everything in our skin that gives us that balanced hyaluronic acid just diminishes. So, you know, there are things you can do about looking at what supplements to take to boost from inside, and looking at really good collagen supplements like Ingenious or a liposomal one like Absolute Collagen. And they do, to an extent, help. There's many collagens supplements sold on the market that will never get to your skin because the technology they use doesn't get there. But Ingenious, it does. It's not cheap, but it does. And you might just feel there's a little bit more of a spring to the step. But, you know, our mouth, for want of a better word, begins to sort of crumble. And if we look at people as they go down that path of life, they lose their lip definition. So, a couple of things you can do, I'm going to suggest. You can either say, I'll go and have filler. It seems a random thing to say, but I'm not going to be random about it because there is very good filler you can do. I don't have filler, by the way, but what I did have done when I was about 35, 40, is I had my teeth broadened a lot because I had quite bad teeth, Claire. Okay. So they rebuilt here not with veneers, but with bonding, and they've built out my mouth so it's much wider, which sort of pushes things out a bit, which is why when I smile, my teeth get caught a bit because they're a bit too wide for my mouth, but that's one way I dealt with that feeling. So you can do that. And then there's things, I mean, I'm going to say Miracle Blur because I bloody love it. So if you want to put lipstick on, having lipstick, if your lips are really thin, but they're not lined. Putting on a lipstick which has pearlescent particles in it and reflective particles will make your lips appear bigger. So, you know, from our brand, I love lip loves, because I think anyone who has an issue would put on Sasha or Valentina, these lovely lip loves, and it makes their lips look full, and I do that on any woman with thin lips. Otherwise, if your lips are a bit lined, then Miracle Blur is brilliant because it fills in the lines and it mats out your lip. And then you can put on a shimmer, which if you have lots of lines on your lips, you might think, oh my God, I'm scared. And it will give you that beautiful sort of, you know, puff. I have a Zoe Skincare Retinol Regime, way too strong, 0.5.
Yeah.
Can I do a less potent retinol daily and use this as a peeler maybe in between, or is it bad to mix different retinols?
I don't think it's bad to mix different retinols, but I don't think you need to do it. I think if you're going to use retinol daily, that's quite strong.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do is you get instant benefits from retinol, and then over time you're actually just damage your skin and damage your barrier, because actually your skin, I can always tell when people overdo it.
Yeah.
So if people overdo it with actives, their skin texture actually gets worse over time. So it's really important to go slow and steady. Yeah. And
so if she was coming out of that
0.5 is still 0.5 isn't the strongest.
It depends what they've mixed it with, because I think it's so confusing, and we have this conversation so often. But like, you have like 2% retinol from The Ordinary, and if you didn't know better, you'd think, well, there's Dr. Oz or Zoe, whatever he's called, Dr. Zoe, sorry, is 0.5, but then the Ordinary is 2%. But it's actually what they're diluted in, because it could be an already diluted form before it's then put in its mix. So it's just so difficult.
And I think from a consumer perspective, so I don't know how they're meant to navigate, you know, and I think that's what we're also want to do, is really try to help give people a way to give that navigation.
But I feel that, you know, to answer your question fully, I think what you're saying, Claire, is find one maybe where you don't have the downtime, because give your skin perhaps a little bit of a break for a second, and you know, this intense, you know, why do you need to peel? Do you have bad acne? You know, it's like peeling is not the solution, and the only solution to having skin that goes down the path of life slower. Keratin stuck under skin in small bumps. Some skin care makes worse. I don't know what to do or avoid, please. This is actually
like
milia, because it is hardened keratin on the pore.
You need to go to an esthetician and get it taken out.
You really do, because I think if you try and do it yourself, they've now got to a stage.
Don't do it yourself.
You just will make scars, and so. I mean, for me, it's about getting it out, having that session with an esthetician, and then looking at what you're doing so you don't clog the pore to the extent that you get hardened keratin and it becomes milia. So really good acids. And I'd say in that instance, BHAs a bit, but a nice
also
formulation.
Like a good AHAs too. I think.
I'm a redhead, 48 years old, started to get brown spots like blotches on my skin. I've always been careful with sunscreen. What do I do? I mean, this is, as we discussed earlier, that perimenopausal phase where, you know, we lose that ability to fight things off easily, and we are more susceptible to inflammation. And if that inflammation is there, and as we get to menopause, it can be, anything can cause inflammation easier, then we will, you know, it will happen that we get.
But it's
more
also,
spots.
Trinny,
it's like that reverse melanoma.
Right, but also sun damage is happening from the day you're born outside,
and it comes out,
and it is basically building up deeper in your skin throughout your life, and unfortunately when we start hitting into our 40s and 50s is when it's going to be visible.
It's so true, and it could be from 25 years ago.
So vitamin C in your routine, and then your retinol.
Layering products, as I always give myself a chemical burn after double cleansing with vitamin C and then AHA. I want to brighten and reduce scarring. My skin feels tight. I mean, first of all, I know you're going to say this too, I'm just going to say it first. If in the morning you're using vitamin C and then an AHA, that is just way too much, and I wouldn't just do it also in that order. And probably if your skin is having that kind of reaction, the AHA should be at night, not in the morning, and keep the vitamin C in the morning. But what are your thoughts on this? I mean, so it's like crossfire.
The first thing is,
and by the way,
you've got
her
to
name
listen
is Cherish Chamber.
cherished chamber.
Yeah.
So hi. So the first thing is you need to listen to your skin. If your skin is starting to feel tight or burning in any way, you need to stop what you're doing and slow down. I would say that vitamin C, you should use it in the morning, and that is going to really help with brightening and scarring.
Yeah.
The AHA, if you want to use it daily, you've got to use it at night. I would not. So AHAs make your skin a little bit more sun sensitive. So if you're having any irritation, it might be because you've used your AHA.
Yeah.
And AHA should always go before your serum. Number one. But I also think just do it at night. Don't do your vitamin C at night at the same time.
Yeah.
Do the vitamin C in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we don't know which vitamin C you're using and which AHA you're using
Absolutely.
as well. So,
and also you might decide to just like, even though you might feel, oh, my skin really wants it, it's like maybe do the acid, the AHA a little bit less often.
Yeah, like every other day.
And just
maybe.
let your skin recover a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good advice. Ease off the accelerator, darling.
Yes.
I've started using testosterone menopause and I keep getting spots around my lip. Makes me so down. What shall I do? Tried using retinol, but just makes it look worse. It's so red and dry. I mean, I've got to say, just because I've spoken to so many hormonal experts, and I'm going to take this one and you can give your comment. But I think that I want to really understand first, honey, who's prescribing your testosterone and what have they asked you to do? And how often are they checking whether it's the right amount for you? Because when I first went into menopause and I was 45, so I've been 13 years experiencing this and really finding good experts. I was given too much testosterone and it really made me break out because my hormones were now going crazy, and testosterone is the hormone that will kind of give you that unregulated skin and makes your skin oilier. You just need to make sure that whoever your endocrinologist is or your doctor who's prescribing testosterone, that you go back to them and say, look, I'm breaking out. Am I having too much? Also, I remember when I was being given too much and I look back and I realized I was quite a little bit more aggressive than normal, and I just wasn't comfortable. Like, I'd get into rows quicker. I had that male hormone of like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Confrontational. Not all boys are like that, but just that sort of the male hormone. And so really make sure you're being prescribed the right amount. And if you're self-prescribing, because I know some people are very excited to go and get testosterones off the market, stop. Don't take any hormones unless somebody's giving them to you who's experienced in dispensing them. Is my thing. There's also a really good book I love, Dr. Erica Schwartz, who's my favourite hormonal doctor. I've spoken to about 50 hormonal doctors, and she's my favourite one, and she wrote something called The Hormone Solution. Really worth a read. Very educational.
I think that's great advice, Trinny.
Thank you. Farah, which retinol product to start with? There are so many.
Indeed.
It's lovely. I mean, Farah, I think what we need to begin to do, how many of you feel that if you came on, we could then look at your skin and stuff? It would help a lot because we don't know if Farah is a girl or a boy. We don't know if Farah is, your age you are, so difficult to say. But if you're starting, I think you shouldn't start retinols in your 20s unless you're doing it with ones that maybe help spots.
I would only use retinols or any retinoid in your 20s if you have acne.
If you have acne,
and you
otherwise,
need to use it for a purpose. I think don't start too early.
Yeah. So just age-wise, in your 30s, we both agree on this. We feel that's a good time to start. And it's when you begin to notice, I've got a little lines here that I didn't notice before, because it's those fine lines that retinol can really help. And there's many on the market, depends on your budget. So, there's some brands like The Ordinary who do very singular retinols, and you have to really research and really understand, because the 1% is stronger than the 2% because the 2% is diluted. And they're in a formulation which is so singular that you might feel your skin there's a downtime or not. Then you can go professional if you have acne. I think the way you ask the question, maybe you're just feeling I should start, because if you had acne, you'd be like, I'm on it. So I'd say there are mid-range ones, that you can go for. A Medicate we like as a brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
SkinCeuticals does a nice retinol. Many brands do retinols, but if you go and watch the retinol film, which you'll list at the end here, which Claire basically told us about retinol fully, it gives you an understanding of what to look for on the back of the pack, on that inky list, to see what kind of retinol they're using, and is it actually an effective one. Cards by Danny. I've just turned 50. My skin feels so dry. I just can't find the right products to use on my skin. Cards by Danny. This is such an interesting one, Claire, because, so many women that we come across say, give me a moisturizer that will work because my skin's continuously dry. So I'm going to say some things about it and you say some things about it. So I think first of all, is your skin dry or dehydrated? So the best way to work out if your skin is dry or dehydrated is to do the dehydration test.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them?
Do you want to tell them?
Okay, I'll tell them. If I
I want to
Right.
see what your
Dehydration test. For 3 days, don't have any coffee if you have it in your system. Don't have any foods that dehydrate you. And then drink at least 2 litres of water a day. At the end of those 3 days, check out your skin. And if your skin has improved, dehydration probably is your issue. Which means that drinking more water, maybe having fewer dehydrating things is good. And also hyaluronic acid will help, which retains the moisture levels in your skin. If it made no difference, your skin is really dry, then I want you to feel the texture of your skin. So does your skin feel dry like this stuff on top of it dryness? And do you feel that plumpness and that sort of bounciness has disappeared? Then it might not be that you layer on another thick barrier cream because there might be a few dead skin cells that need to come off first, which is where you can now take over.
Yeah, so I think having a consistent skincare routine is really, really going to be important.
Yeah.
So whether your skin is dry or dehydrated, I would start with making sure that you have a cleanser that isn't going to damage your barrier, that is actually kind and giving back. So having something like a cleansing balm, whether ours or anyone else's, then bringing in something like an AHA. Yeah. So a lot, as you were just saying, a lot of people with dry skin, it's actually, the dryness is actually the dead skin cells
staying on your skin too long.
Yeah, and because dry
Give
skin...
them some nice dry skin stats. I love dead skin cells. No, dead skin cell stats, because I love
well, you've got
Claire's dead skin cell stats.
You lose 500 million skin cells a day, and for dry skin, their skin is slightly more alkaline. So actually, their desquamation process, so the natural
slower.
shedding of the dead skin cells is a little bit slower, so it builds up. So they need a little bit of helping hand.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? AHAs.
Yeah.
So add an acid into your routine. Then you want maybe a nice hydrating serum, so you can add your hyaluronic acid.
You can add some hyaluronic acid,
some peptides, whatever you want to do, and then a nice barrier cream. But if you don't have your exfoliation step, the moisturising of the barrier cream isn't going to work.
Isn't going to work. I agree. I'm 28 this year. Don't really have much of a routine yet. I'm mostly normal skin with some rosacea. What serum would you recommend to try first? So 28. So I'd say with the cleanser. I mean, I think that if you've got a bit of rosacea, and that sounds like it's self-diagnosed, but if it's a soft form rosacea, but your skin is a bit oily, you could use the gel. But otherwise, if you feel your skin is dry and you have rosacea, use the balm. And then, you know, it's about reducing inflammation in your skin if you have a bit of rosacea. So as a first serum, what would you suggest, Claire?
So things like browns I love, if you've got sensitive skin or you've got a bit of rosacea, keep it simple. So brands like La Roche-Posay,
Tolerance range.
Absolutely. They're fantastic.
Sam Farmer, a bit.
Well, Sam Farmer a bit, but
like,
he's more for teen skin.
He's more for teen skin,
Younger
you're right.
skin where you don't want to use too many actives, you just want to have really good quality ingredients. But I think La Roche-Posay, CeraVe, you know, doing something simple. But the reality is sometimes people think they've rosacea when they don't, and it could be things like a little bit of inflammation from their diet. It could be a little bit of stress. So sometimes it is about you know, watching what you eat, maybe adding some supplements into your diet so that you're actually helping improve your overall levels of inflammation. And it might not always just be the skincare that's triggering it.
And a supplement, gluconolactone is a PHA, but glutathione. So
your favourite, actually.
It is actually. Glutathione is an interesting supplement, and I would go and research it because I do think I did a film ages ago with Dr. Julia Hunter, dermatologist in LA, who's mad as a bunch of snakes, but actually fantastic and has great knowledge. But she believes that sensitive skin and skin conditions can be removed, and she believes it's a mixture of supplements, skincare, and what you eat. So really interesting, and I'll try and link to the live at the bottom. But she talks about this supplement as a miracle worker when you have a sensitive skin or rosacea skin, just to reduce inflammation. What are the 3 main things you believe one should be using on your face to look after it? As I'm just looking start, I think phenomenal cleaning, because if you buy anything else, it's not going to work unless your skin is incredibly clean. So balm or gel are our favourite ones. That's why we made balm gel in London. And then I would say If you're starting and you're younger, are you using an SPF because it's going to prevent the damage that's going to appear when you're perimenopausal? And for me, I'd say a vitamin C, an antioxidant. What about you? What would your top three be?
My top three, cleansing for sure.
Yeah.
And I would say 70% of the work is done with your cleanser, getting it right. I personally think exfoliation, so I would use an acid. And not the strong ones. I'm not a glycolic acid fan, super sensitive skin, so finding the right type of...
Like a PHA or something soft,
or even just nice lactic or electrobiotics, I think are really great ingredients. And then I think I love retinol.
What about an SPF? I mean, you haven't put that in that list of three.
Well,
If somebody
actually,
only had three
SPF
things,
for
you
sure,
know,
SPF 50.
That's the thing. When you have to put the SPF in there, it's very difficult to say, should you use a retinol or whatever? Because also she could be 20 without spots. That's why I think we don't know her age. I'm not going to say
and
retinol.
Absolutely right. 80 to 90% of your aging is going to cause by the sun, so you've got to.
What about skin with atopic eczema on the face? Would the balm be okay?
So the balm is suitable for sensitive skin, but it does have a fragrance, so it really depends. I think you should probably not use the product.
Because atopic eczema, if it's very
exactly.
easy,
So when you're not in a flare up, I think our balm could be okay.
Yeah.
When you are in a flare up, you absolutely need to use proper product
very
suitable for
benign
eczema. It is not
way.
being tested for eczema prone skin.
Yeah. How do you combine hyaluronic acid, retinol, and vitamin C? Should you use them on separate days? Acne has been much better since after my pregnancy, so I'm keen to keep it that way, says Ali. Tell her, darling.
Okay, so Ali, I would say in terms of your routine, you can absolutely use them all in one day. You just use the vitamin C in the morning, you use your retinol at night. Your hyaluronic acid can be in any of the products or it could be separate. If you're going to use it as a separate serum, then I would use your hyaluronic acid first.
Yeah, on clean skin.
On clean skin. So cleanse, maybe exfoliate if you are. You don't have to exfoliate every day, but at least 2 to 3 times a week. Then I would use your hyaluronic acid, your retinol, and then you might be enough, or you might want to use a night cream.
No, I don't believe that. But then in the morning, you're going to use your hyaluronic acid, your vitamin C, and then SPF.
Absolutely,
or moisturizer.
yeah. Vitamin C in the morning, retinol at night.
Yeah. Does the order of products on your face matter?
Absolutely.
So much, Falcon. So much. And I think it's our most commonly asked question because it is so confusing with the many layers of skincare that there can be. But I would say the simplest is probably you cleanse. And, you know, it used to be you cleanse, you tone, you moisturize. Then life became cleanse, tone, moisturize, and think about SPF.
Yeah.
Then life became cleanse, hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, peptide, AHA, PHA, moisturizer,
What can you mix?
SPF.
What can you not mix?
Yeah, I mean, like, wow, where the fuck do I go from here? So I'd kind of say morning is cleaning your skin. If you use a morning acid, then the morning acid, or
as long as it doesn't make your skin sun sensitive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So PHA is kind of good.
Yeah.
But I do PHA AHA mix, and then because I'm stronger skin. Then a vitamin C. It might be if you want the hyaluronic acid because you feel you need that retention of the water in your skin, that you would use that before.
And you know when your skin is a little bit more hydrated with hyaluronic acid,
it
is like allows all the other actives to
go
in faster.
It's
so
sort of like
it
lubricates
everything.
the tunnels.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of. Yeah, it's very true. Actually,
hydrated skin is more able to then receive
depends
the actives.
Depends how it's been hydrated.
Yeah, but
with
something like hyaluronic acid, it helps to penetrate a
So true. That's a very good point. So to repeat ourselves, clean your skin.
Yeah.
Maybe do an acid if you want to. Otherwise, hyaluronic acid. They're two different things. It's called acid, hyaluronic, but it's
not a traditional acid.
Then do a vitamin C or an antioxidant serum. Then do a moisturizer and then do an SPF, or one that's combined. In the evening, clean your skin, take off your makeup with that, and then clean your skin again to really clean out your pores. Then, if you're into doing an acid, do your acid, and then follow after it's, when it's still a bit damp, actually, I don't mind. Put on your retinol, and then afterwards you might want to put on some kind of moisturizer of some kind. I put on peptide personally. I think if you're quite, skin that's getting used to things, you could start off just alternating the acid and the retinol, just so you don't throw everything, all the kitchen sink at it.
And the thing is, with any routine, you've got to listen to your skin. Sometimes your skin is receptive to all of those products in it, and sometimes it's not. So you gotta like every day is not the exact same thing forever. Yeah. You will evolve in your journey.
You will evolve. Okay, this is a good one, Claire. Is retinol a good choice if you have eczema?
I would say no,
Yeah.
because your barrier, when you have eczema, your barrier is
compromised,
damaged,
yeah.
and I think putting anything very strong, it's like you would think eczema is also this build-up of the dead skin cells, because your skin is not able to shed,
convert,
but it's
yeah.
missing certain parts of
Yeah.
its functioning.
Yeah.
So you would think, oh, over exfoliate and you'd be great.
Yeah.
But actually, your barrier is damaged. So I wouldn't actually put any actives, and retinol for sure. Farah, I wouldn't put it near.
Okay. If you only had £100 to spend on skincare, what would you buy? That's such a good question.
Yeah.
That's such a good question. Okay. You had £100 to spare, so I'm going to say that in that you want to have a vitamin C, you want to have a retinol,
A good cleanser.
you want to have a really good cleanser.
Did you say SPF?
SPF. So there's
And an exfoliator.
and so see, there's 5 products you want to buy with
Yeah.
£100. So we're literally doing a budget of £20 each. God, that's tricky. I'd say if you don't know how to clean your skin, I would buy our gel cleanser. I'm just going to throw that in there because I just think really get it clean, and in a way, because it has AHA and PHA, it's going to give you a bit of that exfoliation. So I'm going to do 2 in 1 there.
Yeah.
All right. And you've spent £26. And then I'm going to say you could use a vitamin C from The Ordinary, or from
Victoria
Garden
Health.
Wisdom,
Yeah, Garden of Health, yeah.
which is really good. And those are about £16, so 26, 36, 78, 39, 41, 42. Then you're going to use a retinol.
Trying to find a good one for
La Roche-Posay's retinoic, the one that they have
yeah.
which isn't bad, that one. I don't know how much it is though. I think it's about 30 quid.
Yeah, we'd have to check the price.
Yeah, and then there's the Ultrarist or something, which is available on Amazon. It's a sun care range with SPF, and it's about £8, and it's a really good SPF. So you're already under, and you could spend some money on hyaluronic acid.
Well, brands like the Inky List and
Yeah.
The Ordinary, I think, are really, really great if you're
Yeah.
budget conscious.
Love this. We'll do one of these more often. So if you still feel you have some questions, Claire will be looking at Instagram for the day, and so will I, to answer as much as we can. And thank you so much for joining us, and thank you all for your fantastic questions, and we will catch up again soon.
Bye.
Bye.